Hi guys, Corinne Novell here with Quantum Improvements Consulting. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about a topic called synesthesia. Ever heard of it? According to Wikipedia, synesthesia is the production of a sense impression relating to one sense or part of the body by stimulation of another sense or part of the body. In other words, when you encounter a stimulus, multiple senses are activated rather than just one. People with synesthesia, or synesthetes, experience an extra sensation beyond the sensation typically experienced from a given stimulus. I myself am a synesthete, so I've done a little bit of research to find out more about what I experience. Okay, so this multisensory phenomenon might sound a little confusing. Let's look at an example. One of the most typical forms of synesthesia is grapheme color synesthesia. Now, most people who see numbers and letters see just that, numbers and letters. But people with this form of synesthesia, numbers and letters have a specific color that's attached to them. So, for instance, the number 3 might always appear red to people who see it. So there are lots of other types of synesthesia other than grapheme color synesthesia. Basically, the senses are in effect crossed. So, for instance, chromesthesia is when people associate certain sounds and colors. 11-time Grammy Award winner and music producer Pharrell Williams has this type of synesthesia, and he talks about seeing sounds, which has helped him be creative with his music production. Another type of synesthesia is lexical gustatory synesthesia, which is when seeing a certain object actually produces a taste sensation in your mouth. That's kind of crazy. So for instance, you might see a volleyball and suddenly you taste chalk. I know, weird, right? So synesthesia isn't really well understood or studied. But several famous people have reported having synesthesia and have credited their success due to this extra ability. Pretty weird, right? So is synesthesia a bad thing, like a medical condition, or is it a good thing, like a superpower? Well, technically it's just different. For people with synesthesia, it's their everyday experience and it's not something that they can turn on or off. Most people with synesthesia view this extra sensory input as a positive thing. Synesthesia principles may even help improve performance where memory is important. Why? Sensory input helps form memories, and the more sensory input a given stimulus has, the more input a memory has to form. This suggests that multisensory input from synesthesia could actually lead to enhanced memory performance. Even if you weren't born with synesthesia, you may be able to enhance your memory by consciously building associations with a given stimulus, kind of like a mnemonic. Okay, history lesson done. Today I wanted to do a little demonstration. As I mentioned, I have a few forms of synesthesia myself. One of the manifestations of my synesthesia is that I see images when I taste something. So I might say that something tastes round, or it tastes dark, or I might even generate a graph in my head of the shape of the taste of a food or drink that I'm consuming. So today I'll be demonstrating my extrasensory experience. So today I'll be demonstrating my superpower extrasensory experience by taste testing 6 different root beers. I love root beer. And I'll share with you all the graphs that I generate in my head when I taste each of these unique root beers. So let's get started. So to help me with my demonstration today, I'd like to introduce you guys to Tara Daly, my coworker, who is a vlogger extraordinaire. Unfortunately, she has no superpowers regarding extrasensory experiences. So we're just gonna do a little comparison about what I see when I drink the root beer and what she sees when she drinks the root beer. Okay, so let's get started with the first one. So the first root beer that we're gonna be taste testing is called Virgil's root beer. I don't know if you want more. Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I mean, it's good root beer.
It's a very pleasant. So guys, what's going on in my head right now is I'm like almost like surfing. Like I'm like coasting, like if I'm on a skimboard or what, wait, is it a skimboard or if you're on your stomach?
Yeah, boogie board.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So guys, I feel like I'm on a boogie board and I am just skimming across the surface of some water and I'm going very smoothly and then it kind of goes up. exponentially. That's the graph in my head right now. So kind of what that graph looks like in my head, you can see right here. So on to the next root beer. Okay, so I have tried this one before. It's my absolute favorite. It's called Evita, and it produces the best graphs in my head. So I will pour a little bit for myself.
The anticipation
And
is killing me.
Tara, yeah. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow, that is just such a different experience.
I like the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different flavor than the first one.
Right.
But I'm not producing graphs.
So guys, for this one, whereas Virgil's was a very thin, very smooth line, this is a fat flavor. It's like very wide and it's kind of fuzzy. It doesn't have like clean lines, and it is kind of vertical in nature. So the graph for Evita that I generated in my head when I just drank this looks a little bit like this. Okay, thanks so much, Tara, for your help with the demonstration. We're gonna continue with our last 4 root beers. All right, so next we have Sioux City root beer. And I will pour myself a little sample. For the camera, Sioux City root beer. That one's really interesting. It's kind of flat. Like I just see like planes in my head. There's not too much shape to it at all. Very unlike the last 2. So for Sioux City root beer, the graph that I generated is right here. So the next root beer we have is Sprecher's, and by many it's considered one of the very best root beers. I've had this before, so I will still taste it now to help generate a fresh graph in my head. It's a soft taste. This one has kind of a quiet aura about it. It stays very low in the graph. It doesn't go up on the y-axis like Virgil's did or Evita did. It just kind of sits quietly. So the graph in my head that I'm generating when I drink this looks a little bit like this. Okay guys, just 2 root beers left. Now I'm actually trying this next one for the very first time. It's called Ozark Mountain Bottle Works, and it's from Branson, Missouri. So pretty excited about trying a brand new root beer. And, oh yeah, here we go. Ozark Mountain. Let's see how it tastes. Or I should say, let's see how it looks. Ooh, that's a very pleasant graph. I kind of feel like I just drank like a pearl or something, or some other like round. It has a very round taste. Very pleasant, also flavorful for actual taste input. Yeah, really good. Guys, I just thought of something. With all the remnants and remaining root beer, I'm gonna actually mix them all together and see what the heck that does as a graph in my head. But we still have 1 more root beer to go. And it's called Sago. And I also have never had this root beer before, so I'm pretty excited about trying it. So it looks like that. And let's taste. Ooh, that's a darker flavor. It's a very deep, almost like a baritone. Like if it had a voice, it would be baritone. Although I don't hear anything, but it strikes me as very deep, a dark flavor. Let's see. It's a short journey. So in my graph, it's kind of a small, compact ball. And the graph looks a little bit like this. Then Evita. Okay guys, I've never done this before, but I mixed all 6 root beers together, so I'm pretty excited and a little bit scared. It's really good. Okay, but what graph am I generating? It's a very, I would have to say that combined, they kind of taste like the Ozark Mountain one, in that it's a very pleasant, I picture it as kind of like a leafy pearl, very smooth shape, and it kind of ascends as the graph progresses. Oh yeah, it's really good. Yeah, if this was bottled as one, it might even be my favorite. Just gonna say that. Graph for the combined root beer looks like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the demonstration. I know I did. It was both tasty and visually impactful for me. And so I hope you guys learned a little bit more about synesthesia, and happy sensing. Bye guys.